That's right. I'll be editing this out.
This is my traveling pet peeve.
Oh, who, me?
Because we're like, this is what we're going to do. And then you're like, should we? Would we?
Trade you.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's talk cities for a second.
Cities?
Let's talk cities. I've never asked you this before.
Okay.
What's your favorite? By the way, because
is that your imitation of me, by the way?
No, it's like any Bravo Celebrity Woman's podcast / any NBA players podcast now. They're like very similar.
Yeah.
They don't know how to do it. And so they're like, when you get like this very like nuanced opinion about something that they don't actually believe. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like you got to eat pizza off a paper plate. It's like, that's nothing. So
it's something.
What is your favorite American city and your least favorite American city that you've been to? Do you like New York? We live here.
I do like New York. New York is maybe my favorite city. Least favorite city, even though this is different than what we were talking about before, this is going to surprise you.
Houston.
Miami.
Oh.
I don't really care for Miami.
I'm on board with that.
I always go in, this may be part of like an expectation issue, but I'm like, I always go in, I'm like, what do I love? The beach.
Clubs.
Drinking. Naked people.
Bottle service.
Right.
Fake titties.
Right. All things I love.
I love it. Yeah.
And then I get there and I'm like, I always think this is going to be more fun than it is.
I regret not going to 11 at Z's wedding.
You do?
Yeah, I think we should have popped in for an hour, but we had already partied for like 6 hours.
So long.
And then we went to sleep, and then certain people at that wedding were like, we went out until now. We were like, what? Like we were at breakfast and they were walking in.
I was already like pretty partied out. Like they didn't go to that bar, club, whatever until like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And that's a lot for me. I don't know if I can like change destinations at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, but I heard it's real sexual. As my one friend.
It is like a strip club.
It's like a club / strip club / Cirque du Soleil. It's like people like swinging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Like,
But they're topless.
I don't know if they're. Some are.
Right.
We're looking into it. Many are.
I think they are.
Some aren't. Many were thinking about it.
Sure. Anyway, Miami's up there for me. Of like, I could take it or leave it.
Yeah, I find that Miami, if you live in New York, certain things are redundant, but they're not the things that we do in New York.
What do you mean?
Like they have like the same very expensive Fifth Avenue shopping. They have the same chain restaurants. Have
you ever been shopping on Fifth Avenue?
I go to the NBA store whenever I can.
That's true.
And I spend around $200 on 2 pairs of shorts with one of the best things anybody's ever done is go, hey guys, we should put pockets in the authentic shorts because then dumbass dads will buy them and wear them around.
Dumbass dads. That's your new podcast.
Or that's my second album title. You know my album title is going to be called Corporate Fun Fact. You like it?
No.
So how about stuff about work?
No, I want you to call it steak for dessert. Dessert steak.
No, dessert octopus.
Dessert octopus.
Oh yeah, so we went out to dinner the other day. Fantastic dinner.
You're like
Wasn't it good?
Yes.
So our friend Brendan was like, I've heard of this new thing, this new trend. And we're like, swinging? And he's like, yep.
No,
this
is not how he talked about it at all.
He's like, you can order a 5th pasta for the table instead of getting dessert. That's exactly what he said. What are you talking about?
Okay, but he wasn't saying I've heard of this new thing. His friend was saying, let's get another pasta to share instead of getting dessert.
What's the difference between that and what I said?
Because you're going, I've heard about this new trend. He
Yeah.
didn't say I heard about a new trend. He was talking about his friend prefers to do this.
Right, but people know that I'm kidding here. So instead, we think about it, we decided that's a whole lot of pasta. But then me and Brendan do order a second octopus appetizer, like as a dessert, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Right. So now I think you should call your special dessert octopus.
Mm-hmm. Dessert octopus, 36 scoops of ice cream. There's a lot of food-related titles, too.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Nobody knows. When you eat dinner...
I love when I'm like watching you on this podcast and you just like clearly have had a mini stroke. Like it's this look that comes over your face and you're like,
No, it's like, that's me thinking.
I know. You can't. You're like the ultimate, like, you can't chew gum and walk. Like, you have to think about one thing at a time. Even at home, if I'm like, hey, hey, can you unplug the coffee pot and take the garbage out? You're like, wait.
I just walk in the bedroom. And you're like, that wasn't. Well,
I'm
yesterday,
like, hello?
in my golf lesson yesterday, the guy goes, it's actually not an upswing and a downswing. You start your hips while your hands are still going up. And I go, oh boy, not going to be good. Like,
Not a multitasker.
so far I've name dropped Nantucket, golf swing. I'm really like,
You are who you are.
It's my lifestyle. My life a movie, dog. You know what I'm saying, dog?
Yikes.
So Jerry Seinfeld talked about this on his last special a little bit, about how like the difference between great and suck is like closer than people think.
Of course.
But I think that my experience now that I've been out to great dinners with you is like when you're going to spend a lot of money, it becomes like high stakes dining.
High stakes.
High stakes dining. Meaning
At
like
a steak restaurant.
meaning like
High stakes. That's the name of your steak restaurant.
I love it. But we smoke weed and we serve you.
And it's a casino.
Can you imagine eating a big ribeye when you're high? You don't have to at high stakes.
Yeah, but also a casino.
Oh, fuck yes. That's my dream.
Yes. If you're playing roulette, you get to like throw food on the roulette thing
Yeah.
and
Like the roulette table is half game and half like Korean barbecue. You're like,
yeah.
throw
It's
the
like
dice.
hibachi. High stakes hibachi steakhouse.
And my other idea was breakfast hibachi. You know what I mean?
Wait,
Like,
what about there's a drink girl, but there's also like an appetizer girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
So as you're playing, you get like wedding appetizers,
oh my
like little
God.
finger
Like
food.
past hors d'oeuvres.
yeah, be fantastic.
I'm in.
So when you're dining and
That's your quick fire challenge.
when it's expensive, it becomes high stakes because I spent a lot of money on this. This better be good. But when you just go someplace cheap and it's good, you're like double delighted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's my
but-
argument for like eating at like diners, drive-ins, and dives types places.
My thing is, post COVID, the places that were like, first of all, nothing's cheap anymore, right? Because all the even like quote unquote cheaper places have gotten
Biden.
expensive. But also, it's like something happened where it's like the quality, it's a bigger drop off. Like to just get like a baseline like salad, burger, beer, whatever. If you go to like the quote unquote cheaper place, it might be like quite bad, like soggy fries, like bad burger, like
Yeah, the variance post COVID has gone through the roof.
Exactly. But I'm like, but then if you go to like the middle version of that, you're like looking at $200 and you're like, on what?
Yeah.
Like it was just like nothing.
Yeah.
So then it's like when you're looking to spend like a real amount of money on dinner, it's like it almost like pushes you to the other side because you're like, well, if I'm already going to spend all this money, then I'd rather go out less often, but go to the place that like is really going to be good.
But it makes me want to go to the same place over and over again
Yeah,
because you have these experiences where you're like I had a work dinner the other night and it was like, this sucked.
Right.
Like I was like,
not
wait
that
a
good.
second. I'm like, I thought that like the deal was you knew this was company money, so like whatever. Like make it nice.
Right.
I made it nice.
I just feel like, I don't know, recently, even with like, BS like takeout or whatever, I'm like, either way, you're going to spend about $25, which is a lot of money for a single meal.
Yeah, my normal baseline Chipotle at the restaurant is $22.
That's a lot of money.
I get caviar. I get double meat.
You double your meat.
I do get double meat.
Yeah. I told you I got Chipotle yesterday, which is a rare move for me, and it only cost $12, and I was shocked.
Yeah, what did you get?
Chicken
It's a
and
normal
veggies
bowl?
and yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm like
No guac.
No guac. I think guac at Chipotle is a scam.
Well, it's a scam if you're trying to not spend $1 million or eat healthy because they're like, you want some guac? Let me get the shovel. Yeah.
There's something, first of all, there's something about the way they slop on the guac
I like it.
that I do not care for. But also, if you're going to get some sort of protein and like whatever, I'm like the texture is off. Like it's like you would need more of a crunch element in the bowl to have
It is
a
a
guac.
lot of just like soft, fatty liquids. You know what I mean? It's like it's so soft.
On the next episode of Soups.
Yeah. Yeah, you're almost like, is this a soup? It's a lot of like.
But you
they
know
give
what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we're
2-3
gonna
pounds of sour cream.
like when they're thinking about the options to go into the burrito bowl,
Yeah.
or as I would say to Henry, burrito. It's like rice, which is soft,
Yeah.
protein, which is soft,
Semi.
veggies, which are soft. Then it's like various actual sauces, which are liquids. There's cheese, which is soft. Sometimes they wrapped it in a soft roll.
It is really soft.
It's too soft.
Yeah. Well, that's why the original idea of tacos was
Crunch.
we're gonna give you a crunch.
Like I want a crunchy gordita option.
Don't. Don't talk about Taco Bell. You've never been there, which is psychotic. You know what we're gonna do?
No.
We're gonna go to the Taco Bell in Nantucket.
Yeah, they have one.
Yeah. But we're gonna go to Taco Bell and then you're gonna do a Taco Bell review because
I'm sure I'm gonna like
it's
it.
important. It's amazing.
I'm sure I'm gonna like it. My thing is like some of these places, like so every fast casual place has become some sort of bowl. But the best kinds of bowls have to have different textures.
Are made of bread.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But what do you put in a bread bowl?
You put soup.
Soup. But then you have a little bit of crunchy bread to dip in your bread bowl.
Well, Panera, as you know, we only eat when people in my family die. But I always think it's insane where you're like, I'll get a sandwich on a baguette, and then they're like, you want a bread?
Side of bread.
Side of bread with the bread bowl? Bread on your head?
I would love more
Just like
bread.
throw bread at you.
I love bread. I feel like at least they're like actually giving you the bread versus other places where like, oh, did you want a pita for your pita sandwich? It's another $1.50. And you're like, wait, but it's on a pita.
Yeah, I'm good on that one.
See, that's what I'm saying. you get lost in your own
Because I was
empty mind.
I am hungry, and then you kept saying bread, and then I was just visualizing.
Sometimes Allison refers to her cat as having a smooth brain, and I'm like, maybe Noah has that too.
What does that mean, a smooth brain?
You know, you just like start licking the couch. Just like, oh.
I want to talk about Summer House Reunion.
Oh, yeah,
because
let's do it.
We'll leave a little bit of meat on the bone at the end there if we don't. So, spoiler alert, one of our super fans said we should do a spoiler alert. And so if you haven't watched it yet, get out. Get out of town.
Don't pause the pod.
Yeah.
Go watch the reunion.
Yeah, come back.
Okay.
So obviously Carl and Lindsay were center stage, both literally and it was kind of
not
like
literally, but yes.
Yeah, they were. They were next to each other, closest to Andy.
Really? Mm-hmm. On the other sides?
Yes, they were. But
I didn't
first,
notice.
let's talk West and Sierra.
Yeah.
Sierra, for those of you who don't watch, is a beautiful model / nurse. Banging.
I would say she's a nurse / model.
Yeah, with the model thing, who's not a model these days? You take a couple pictures, like, come on. But,
I mean, I support her like in going to pursue whatever career she wants, but I also was like, that was like a random side plot in this season where she was like, also, I'm like a model now, and I'm like, okay.
They needed a reason why she and West would not work out. That wasn't just.
Oh, right. She was like, I'm going to
West
travel.
wants to actually be famous from the Bravo show and have sex with lots of girls. That sounds pretty fun.
That's not how it started, though. That's not how it started.
What are you talking about?
You're talking about like now that we've like seen the relationship play out. He clearly was like, I want to be free to go F around. But like I told you, I'm like, I think we actually share this opinion about this entire situation. But it's like, if you want to casually date someone and hook up with them and whatever, that's actually fine. You can like make your own rules of exclusivity and like not sleeping with other people, but like you could just be dating someone. Mm-hmm. But the problem is what West doesn't really understand is that instead of just being upfront with her and being like, this is just casual, like I don't want any more out of this, he's like bringing her home to meet his parents. He's taking her as his date to weddings. He's making all these plans with her. They're hanging out.
That was all
every
post-show
night.
off camera.
I know, but I'm saying.
She didn't sleep with him all summer long. It was a big storyline.
And he was sleeping with other people.
Yep. And he was trying to date her, and he's basically like coming at her, being like,
I want to date you.
I want to date you. And then she was kind of like, okay. And then he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't want that type of commitment. But when the cameras went down, she went home, wedding. But they did start sleeping together.
She even said after their little horseback riding date, she was like, you can just call this now. We like don't have to pretend to do this. And he was like, no. Like, I want to do this. So like, this is obviously 1,000%.
I think he did want to do it.
No, because.
But he also wanted his cake and eat it too.
Yeah,
he wanted side chicks.
We were talking about this, but I'm like, it's a classic, like, I don't want to be alone Sunday night vibe. And it's like, you can't do both things. You can't bring me home to meet your parents, come over to my apartment every day, make plans. We're hanging out at the bar. We're watching football together. We're doing all these things as a couple. Whether you want to call me your girlfriend or not, that is exactly what's happening.
Yes, just be a couple. And then if you want to break up, break up. The problem with our generation is that the situationship.
He's
and just
much younger than us, but yeah, go ahead.
How old do you think he is? Oh, wait. This is the ding, ding, ding. This is guess that age. I'm going to guess that West. Is it West? It's West, right?
West.
Not the best word for me to say with my condition.
Same with soups.
I really hope Henry doesn't have my little weird aspiration, by the way. Sometimes I kind of hear it.
Well, we can send him to speech therapy. It's okay.
Right away. Camp.
He said a word the other day that really like warmed my heart, and it was feather. And I like the way he says feather is extremely cute.
What did he say?
It was like fetter. He's like this fetter in the water.
He's the cutest person of all time. I love everything he does. But so West is, I think, 31.
I think he's 30.
Can you look it up, please?
27.
Mike from the top rope.
Yeah, he's really young.
Wow. Yeah. So his hair looked terrible.
And she's like 34, 35.
That
Mike?
I don't know for sure. He's 29, sorry. And she is
33.
We're looking at right now.
33 is my guess.
35, I say.
35? She's like a fossil. What?
28.
Really?
Damn.
Yeah.
I thought she was
seems
older.
older because her personality is kind of womp womp.
I thought she was older. I don't know why.
So he's 29. She's 28.
Yeah.
That's when we started dating.
I met you when I was 27.
So here's my problem with Wes. So.
My Jesus year.
But you wouldn't go steady with, what do you mean Jesus year? Jesus 33.
That's the joke.
Oh. Damn it. Now I'm that guy on the plane. My problem
I'm like,
with
I
Wes,
won't bother you. He's like, get away from me.
So this is part of my part of my Do Less Better campaign, and also is realizing to not care about what I don't care about.
Sure.
And when I see a guy like West, he is cool. He's got the cool outfits and the expensive clothing and a little bit of jewelry. I'm just
I like his style. It's fine.
His style's great, but he spends a lot of time on it and a lot of money on it. And it's like, you're cool, but you're like trying to look cool. And as a man, I'm like, that is inherently kind of whack. You should like kind of look like shit as a man. That's my thesis. But
I don't know. I know what you're saying, but it doesn't like really bother me because it's like authentic. I think my pet peeve is more when the guy is like not actually into it. Because if you're into it, you're into it, right? Like it's like an interest, a hobby, a passion. Like you're like putting together what you want to wear. You're looking around and like, you know, you have to have a specific eye for design or whatever, right? And also like a certain amount of self-awareness of like what looks good on you and like things like that. I'm fine if that's like legitimately what you're into and like that's cool. I struggle with the people who are like, oh, I want to be that, but I'm not really that. And so then there's like a lot of effort going into it that's like a little forced when actually like you could just like wear a white t-shirt and like be chilling. Like it doesn't really.
I was at drinks with one of my former very good friends and his college friend who's like in like fashion or something, and they were drinking and like being like, I mean, bro, this guy's showing up with this like Banana Republic button down with no like tailoring, and like they were being like throwing shade at dudes for their shirts, and I was just like, this isn't my crew. Like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm like, Banana Republic would be like among my best shirts. It's like a top 3 shirt.
Yeah, for me, it's just like, I don't know, like, if you're into it and you're into it, that's cool. But I'm like, my biggest challenge with the West Sierra situation is that at any point, he could have just been actually honest with her instead of fake honest. And I think that he like really liked her. That like, that's not what I'm questioning. No. But you could have just like told her the truth, which is like, I really can't date you. But then you have to like, your actions have to follow what you're saying. And you're basically like gaslighting her into thinking that she's in a relationship when she's not, when you're like not there at all. And like, you just didn't want to like let her go, but she gave you so many chances, just be like, move on. And now you really hurt her feelings. And like, she couldn't even on camera.
It was sad when she cried.
She couldn't have been clearer about like the whole season. She was like, I'm really not looking to just like hook up and whatever. I'm really just like, she wasn't saying like, I'm looking for marriage, but she was like, either be in something with me or don't.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's extremely selfish and it's extremely like not cool. Like, I just felt like he was like, Mr. like, I'm just like so real. I'm like the realist and I'm like your boy and like whatever. And I'm like, what a phony pile of shit. And I hope he feels bad. And I hope he understands like what happened here. And then I feel terrible for her because I'm like, she was already going in feeling like she had gotten burned before, which she had.
By Austin.
But like other people too. And then you go, he basically like built up your confidence in this relationship only to pull the rug out from underneath you, which is like, just like baseline not nice. It's just really not cool.
You know, when people are like, I don't want to do this because it'll ruin the friendship. Like, that's what they mean. Because as much as everybody likes to pretend that you can do this like hooking up thing, you can do it for like a couple months. And then usually what happens is you have a murderer's row of like birthday, Valentine's Day, all these like relationship to the holidays. And then someone catches feelings more than the other person. And like when we first got together, I like made a decision. I was like, Noah, just, you really like her. Like, see it through. Like, be serious here.
Never heard of this before.
You haven't?
No.
Really?
No.
And then I was, I mean, is it bad? It's good.
Okay.
I was like, this is.
I'll decide if it's good or bad.
Yeah. I was like, be my girlfriend now. And it was like, we weren't going to get married. We weren't like getting married. I was just like, be my girlfriend. And then
you tried to propose 3 months in.
I did. After that, I dropped the L-bomb very quickly.
But I would say like in our relationship, and of course, Kristen can attest to this, I had been burned in the past. So when you were like, let's hang out tomorrow, let's go to do this, let me come over, like, let me do whatever. I was like, be chill, like chill or be chilled. Because I was like, I don't want to get all into this with you and develop this like relationship with you if 3 months later you're gonna be like, oh, we were just hanging out, like that wasn't real. And I'm like,
I know you said basically the same thing Sierra said,
right?
But I said, I'm not West, I'm poorly dressed
I
and
actually
tall.
dated West.
No. Ugh. I'd rather have you dated West than
he's like 10 years younger than me.
Who's the tall guy with all the teeth?
Jesse.
He's like, I don't know, I like the
so
God.
many teeth.
He's like attractive, but his whole head is just a bunch of teeth. He should be used by dental schools to like teach where teeth are.
What?
He's like, they're like, that's his molar right up front.
It's not that bad.
Nah, I'm just hating on him because he's skinnier than me.
Would you prefer someone with like big teeth, big smile, or like
you?
Baby teeth, baby teeth, little smile?
I actually dated a girl with tiny teeth. Disgusting.
Because I go big teeth. I like big features.
Yeah, you do.
Make a statement.
Talking big
Huge
faces.
head.
Big faces like Hellboy.
Yeah.
Joe Budden. All
like
day.
a big face hole to pour soup into.
The least surprising thing is I like people with big faces.
I do.
Date me. I appreciate that.
I mean, subtlety is not something I'm into.
You want to talk Lindsay and what's his face?
So the Lindsay Carl situation, I'm a little bit like, okay, like this is now over. I don't know. Like clearly, even on the reunion, they're like talking about it. They're like, this relationship was never going to work, whatever. Yeah. So like, okay, you avoided the marriage. That's fine. It's still kind of like a sad situation.
It's very sad, but he's a pleaser. He really wants like everybody to like him and be pleased. He'd be better served like ditching all the therapy talk and just like when he's pissed, being pissed.
But then
like letting it go. And then he's always like, well, my needs is what I need from you right now. I'm like, what are you talking about?
There was a point.
Don't do that. Be clear.
Well, but this is why I don't buy. So like whatever, I respect that Carl's like on a sobriety journey and I am happy for him. Like I really think that's admirable and that's great. But I do agree with Lindsay that he tries to make it seem like she is the only one who is acting nuts. But I actually think he just reserves all his crazy behavior for off camera. Mm-hmm. And then he comes in and it's a little like self-righteous to be like, well, I was just like asking for what I need. I'm very confident that he has like absolutely 1,000% screamed in her face. I think he's like totally lost it on her like multiple times. Mm-hmm. I think they were basically like living separately in that apartment and like neither one of them wanted to like let go of the dream. But like a couple seasons ago, they also tried to like have like a little relationship and it was like way less whatever and they like let it go. But I'm like, I think that there's like a lot of like love there or there was. And I just think that like maybe they were like trying to ignore some of like the bigger issues. But like, I don't appreciate how he comes in and he wants to like paint himself as like blameless and like, I was just trying to like express what I needed. I'm like, I think you acted nuts behind the scenes and you know that it's not on camera. And then he was like yelling at her because she like tried to record something. And it's like, okay, well, like, because you're riling me up for the camera stuff and then you're being crazy off camera. I do think that was happening.
He paid the rent or whatever. He brought that up and he did pay the wedding, which I think that is a big deal. Like, she's like, well, you cancel, you paid for it. But like, that's a huge, I mean, like imagine like paying $150,000 for a wedding you didn't do. Ugh. Brutal.
I mean, it's a bummer, but I also feel like
these guys must make a lot of money from Bravo.
I also just think that like, again, it's like kind of my same philosophy as Wes. It's like, why would you even, he went out and bought a ring and proposed. He did, not her. Yeah. So I don't know why you would do any of those things if you weren't like committed in that way. And I just feel like then to kind of like push it back on her, like she was this like mega villain. I'm like, I don't think she's a particularly easy person to get along with, but I also don't think he is. I
think she's brutal to get along with. I think it's really hard. But I also think that he had a little main character syndrome. So in the summer, he was
but
like...
I think that happens when you're going through a sober journey.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sober. Oh, now I see things clearly. I need to get my life together. That means getting married.
Well,
you're next to me. Okay.
You have to be selfish with your time, I think, when you're... And like frequently... people who get sober like do have to leave, like quote unquote, leave their old life behind.
Why would you want to go out in the Hamptons, period?
I don't know.
Why would you want to go out in the Hamptons sober? That's brutal.
Yeah, but also why would you want to go be around the people that you were around and
bang down pasta and
I mean, it's not about the pasta.
They used to get the bottle of liquor and go.
I know.
You like that act out?
I don't know what that was.
Halfway through, well, there wasn't enough liquid to act it out.
Liquid.
It's like when Vin Diesel's like family and he drinks a beer through his. Have you ever seen that clip from Fast and Furious?
He pours it that far away from his face.
Yeah, he does a whole speech about family.
Yeah, that's the whole movie.
And then he picks it up with his pinky.
Why?
Because he doesn't know how to drink a beer because he's not a normal person, and he like sips it through his other fingers.
What?
I swear to God, this is a clip. Somebody find it. Producer Mike, not right now. Find it later.
I don't need to see it.
I'll cut that as a clip and I'll show that because it was written about in blogs. It literally was like, has Vin Diesel ever had a beer?
Wait.
What?
How old is Vin Diesel?
Oh, and I saw a picture of him the other day. He's looking good. We're talking 52.
He is 56.
Damn. They're making another one. Good news.
Good
news for you.
They have him listed at 6 foot, which I do not believe.
No.
That I do not believe.
Have you ever seen a Fast and Furious movie?
Yeah, with you. Fast 5.
We saw 5 in theaters.
In theaters.
That's embarrassing. Oh, that's kind of good.
It was fun.
5 is good. When they mass murder civilians by dragging a safe through the thing.
This is something I pointed out to you because I had never seen a Fast movie before.
Right.
And I was like, in every like big action scene, just hundreds of people are getting murdered and they just have absolutely there's no talking about it, there's no addressing it.
Tyrese is like, ha ha.
It's literally like they're mowing down people in a way that I was like, this is both cartoonish but also like ghastly. And then I'm like, I guess those are just like, it's almost like Austin Powers. It's like those are just like random cronies. Yeah, and then you're just
but
like,
they're
okay.
not. They're like people walking to the beach. Like,
I know.
They're not even like part of the evil crew.
Right. Some of the evil crew people get killed and you're like, okay, well, I guess that tracks. But then sometimes like civilians. I'm like, hello?
Yeah. It's
Did you have to drive the Jeep out of a plane? I don't think so.
sometimes when people are like,
Where are you going to land it?
you know, how did this happen in America? You just have to go, people like those movies in a serious way.
Yeah. They really like them.
And they're like, oh, yeah. Woo.
Like, drop those cars.
They've done space already. They've already had a car flying into space. That was like 2 movies ago. Also,
What?
Also, Ari has a bit where he's like, I'm not going to tell you how many women I've slept with, but there's been more Fast and the Furious movies. And he's like, and I'm not counting Tokyo Drift.
But Tokyo Drift is number 6 or something.
That was like number 3.
Oh.
But Tokyo Drift was when they were like, this is probably going straight to DVD. We're going to have like little Bow Wow in it.
I'm not including Tokyo Drift, although it's always been a fantasy of mine.
Yeah. Let's just do Ari's stand up here for the rest of the show. But there was a time when they were like, this is ending, but we're going to make this like little Bow Wow version where like Vin
He's
Diesel
just
is
Bow
even
Wow
in.
now, okay?
My bad. He's grown up. And then they were like, wait, we can make like 10 more of these. This is crazy.
Yeah, I think that's like what Hollywood is.
I saw 2 good movies in a row, by the way. Speaking of American Fiction, banging. And I'm watching the Holdovers, more like Oscar stuff. So
Sure. You are very sophisticated in your tastes.
I kind of am, actually.
Are you?
Yeah. What's your favorite movie? The Princess Bride?
No, League of Their Own. You know this.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah, it is good. It's just so good. Every scene is good.
The Heart is What Makes It Great is like a big philosophy in my life. And people are like, who said that? And I'm like, Jimmy Dugan.
Avoid the clap, Jimmy
avoid
Dugan.
The clap. Jimmy Dugan.
So good. Has anyone seen my new red hat?
It's a scene for scene perfect movie.
Every line is great.
Wait, let's do perfect movies.
Mr. Harvey, like your chocolate bar. You're completely nuts.
It's
great.
It's a perfect movie. It's really, really good.
The characters are great. Betty Spaghetti.
Madonna's sensational. She's just like a hoe.
I mean, she's incredible. Rosie O'Donnell's perfect.
They're great. It's a perfect movie. What other? Do you have any other perfect movies, scene for scene? Because I have like 4. And I was actually talking to like a big film snob, and he's like, Office Space.
Office Space is a perfect movie.
Every scene has a purpose, works on its own, is great. A League of Their Own, I'll put up there.
Of course.
White Man Can't Jump, I'll put up there.
Okay, interesting.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's a perfect movie.
Trying to think of, there was one more that we were just talking about that I also thought was a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Clueless is up there.
Clueless is a perfect movie.
It's great.
There's nothing there's no fat. There's nothing you cut.
No.
There's nothing you'd add.
No, it's incredible.
Here's one that'll shock you. I think Napoleon Dynamite is a perfect movie. It makes me laugh so hard.
It's a really
time.
good movie. It's not perfect in the way we're describing these other movies.
It's really effing random. It kind of doesn't have a point. It's kind of like a bunch of sketches in a row.
It's good. It's really good, but I don't know if it's like a perfect movie in that same way.
All the movies of 1994 are mainly perfect.
Like what else?
Like Goodfellas,
Speed. Speed.
Speed. I got sent the trailer for Speed.
My Date with the President's Daughter.
What is that?
Just kidding. It's a made-for-Disney movie that Samantha and I love.
Yeah, I didn't go through that phase. I was playing sports, I guess.
Stepsister from Planet Weird, classic.
No.
What else? My 13th Year, where he turns into a merman. All good.
No.
She's All That is a good movie.
I'll tell you this.
Like that whole era of like teen movies that then they spoofed with Not Another Teen Movie.
Not Another Teen Movie
is great. It's
And
so funny.
It's so much funnier than like Scary Movie or the other spoof movies. Maybe because I'm white, but it's perfect. I think it's so effing funny, and it's like mainly because the source material was also like very good and very memorable.
You know what else is actually kind of a perfect movie?
What?
Even though like I feel like people hate on it now.
What?
Legally Blonde.
Yeah, people love that. Women. I've actually seen it like once.
But it's actually very, very good.
When was the last time you saw it?
Oh, it doesn't.
Like-
It doesn't hold up.
It doesn't hold up?
Really?
I watched it.
Racist?
My girl watched it the other day because she was like, "Oh, we haven't seen it so long," and I was trying to watch it. I was like, "This is brutal."
Really?
Is it
It's just
racist
very
or a little?
It's very trite, like all the
Yeah.
stereotypes. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
All right,
And at
I
the time,
rescind.
it was probably perfect, but now
Yeah, I
it's like
rescind.
very like sexist and racist. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right,
You look at it,
take
you're
it
like,
back.
yeesh.
A lot
All
of
right.
jokes where they're like, they're gay, and everybody's laughing.
That I do. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying like every cultural reference is going to hold up. Obviously,
Right.
Yeah.
That's just not realistic. But I guess that's true. It was like perfect for the time. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I'll take it back. Toy Story, perfect movie.
Yep. Don't remember it, but yeah.
Really?
I know it's Buzz Lightyear, but I don't.
There was an era of Pixar movies that were just like great top to bottom.
I'm just making sure we hit everything from.
Yeah, this really doesn't take me out of it at all.
I'm sorry.
That Thing You Do, that's my
I love
odd
that
one.
movie.
That's perfect head to toe, top
I
to
really
bottom.
like that movie.
And the soundtrack is
Empire Records is a great
great
movie.
One. Yeah.
Have
There's
you
very
ever seen
few
Empire Records?
There's very few musical movies where it's the music kicks from top to
I've
bottom.
seen it, but
Dreamgirls is a perfect movie.
no. Happy
What?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore's a perfect movie.
Yeah. Every scene you can drop in the middle, the beginning, and you're like, it's all the funniest thing you've ever seen. And as an adult, you realize, as a kid, you're dying laughing. But as an adult, you even realize like how much better it is. Like every choice it made was perfect.
The original Hairspray. Did you ever see that?
No, don't get niche.
Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck's great. Did
Uncle
you hear
Buck is
the
funny.
announcement about Happy Gilmore 2?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm
don't
excited.
do that.
I'm excited.
No, don't.
It's gonna
do
be
it.
like ultimate, Member Berries. It's
Did
gonna
you
be
ever
fine.
see Dumb and Dumberer?
No.
The one they made like years later. It
No.
like ruined it. They made a fourth Matrix where the premise is like, was Keanu Reeves just mentally ill and that was all just like his fantasy? They basically did
I've
it
never
like,
seen The Matrix.
oh.
And I never will. And I've never seen Avatar, and I never will. That ship has sailed.
Don't compare the Matrix to Avatar. That's insane.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like, there's a couple of movies like that where I'm like, there's just never going to be a time in my life where I sit down. Life is too short. I don't want to see it. So I've moved on.
The original Matrix is great and it's an important movie.
It's not. It's not.
But yeah, they ruined it with that fourth one. They basically were like
I didn't even know there was a fourth one.
nobody did. It went to like streaming. It streamed on
Video on demand.
yeah,
It was like
streamed
20 years later.
on Seamless. It was 20 years later,
Yeah,
and it was
bad.
like
It was bad.
and it was like basically the version of and that was all a dream, or was it? It was very like
Like
ugh.
Inception.
No, Inception. See, now you're talking about movies where you don't understand what was going on. See,
Yikes.
it's for someone who didn't take physics or math at a very high level.
I took math.
Not at a high level.
Yes, at a high level.
I took it at the highest level.
No, you didn't.
I got a D in stat in
Oh my
college.
God.
I got a D, a final report card D.
All right. Well, on that note,
Should we wrap it up? Is that it?
Yeah.
How is our time, producer Mike?
You're right at 45 minutes.
Oh God, we're pros. We got the light, baby. Let's wrap it up with announcements. Any announcements?
we don't wrap it up with announcements.
You don't have anything to announce?
I already did my announcement.
Oh, all right. Well, I want to announce.
Samantha Wolff, if you're listening, you get $50.
Oh yeah, we got to get the Samantha Wolff bit back.
She'll never hear it.
They have a podcast. I don't listen to. Seriously, every week it goes up $5, and then none of her
Not
friends.
every week.
None of her friends can tell her about it. They can
No.
be like, your sister said she'd give you $1,000 if you listen to the podcast.
First of all, it's never going to be $1,000.
yeah, because we started 50 and we had
We're
5.
not going up. We're not going up.
I think it should go up. It's like so that people are like, oh my God, she needs to listen.
I'll think about it.
I'm recording the album this fall. Gonna do it in half an hour. I need a venue,
This is not urgent.
and other than that, I'm hungry. So we got to get out of here, and that's it.
Eat your soup.
All right. Good job, everybody. It's a wrap. It's a wrap on Alyssa Wolff.